Hey guys, welcome back to another pickups video, this time for the month of April of 2013. And I'm going to start by showing you guys one game that I'm really happy to have in my collection right now. And that was released during this month, and that game is Pandora's Tower for the Nintendo Wii. This game basically completes the trio of games from Operation Rainfall, the games that were localized here for the North American market, and I'm so glad we got this game. It's a late release, but better late than never. And this is essentially a Japanese action RPG that focuses a whole lot more in action as opposed to the other two games in the Operation Rainfall. All three games are actually pretty different from one another. So. I'm very early into this game. I only got to the first tower. I think the game has 13 towers, and in order to break the curse that has affected this girl here in the game, you have to, beat the master from each tower. So I'm really early into the game, but I think I'm gonna wait a little bit before I delve into this game further because I have a huge backlog. But so far from what I played, I really enjoyed this game, and I guess in a way it was worth the wait. So I'm really glad to have this in my collection. If you guys are interested in having this game, I recommend it you buy it sooner than later, because being a very late Wii released, I'm pretty sure the print run of this game is going to be a little bit on the limited side. So better safe than sorry. So really glad to have Pandora's Tower for the Nintendo Wii. Next up is another Nintendo Wii title that I picked at GameStop, and that game is Blastworks. I got this for $4, and this is essentially a shooter or a shmup. That the cool thing about this game, or I guess the main attraction of this game, is that you can actually custom create your own ships. So, and you can, it has a very in-depth creator in which you can, pretty much build your ship any shape or form that you want. So I haven't played this yet, but supposedly it has like an online community type of thing where you can upload your creations and you can download what other users have created. So based on that, sounds like a very interesting idea. The game seems to have a pretty unique art direction, so I figured I picked this one up. It's a very interesting concept, so I definitely need to get around to play this game. Sounds like a fun little game. Next up, at my local thrift store, I picked up another Wii title, and that title is Big Brain Academy Wii Degree. And this game essentially follows the successful line of brain training games for the Nintendo DS. Although I do have to say that after playing, this game is really fun. Essentially what it is a collection of mini games that you're supposed to play on a daily basis in order to, I guess, train your brain to, function better. And the mini games are quite fun. They're easy to pick up, but very hard to, master and get a flawless score. But I do have to say that the concept of this game still remains, more suited towards the handheld type of, devices. So I think the DS and 3DS versions are more adequate for this type of game, because this is a typical pick up and play type of game for like 5 minutes a day. But the Wii version, I guess, has this emphasis on group activities. So if you have a couple of Wiimotes and you want to play a couple of fun mini games, then I guess this is the title for you. Again, I think the DS and 3DS versions are probably better and more appropriate, but I'm happy to have this since I picked it up for really cheap. So that's Big Brain Academy. And then speaking of going to thrift stores, and I also went to my local Goodwill. I was hoping to find another gem like I did in a few months ago when I found Ogre Battle for the PS1, the limited edition, for $4. So no such luck this time around, but I did get an interesting pickup, and that is a first-party Nintendo GameCube controller. and I'm really glad to have this. It only costed me $2, so I couldn't say no for $2, especially in the condition that the controller is in. The stick is pretty much brand new. All the buttons are clicky. This controller, it's basically brand new, so for $2 I couldn't say no. So I'm really happy to have another first-party controller to my GameCube collection. Now, my local GameStop, they completely got rid of the PSP titles, so I'm happy that I went there a few weeks ago and I got 2 titles, and I got both of them combined for $3, so pretty much $1.50 a piece. And the first game that I picked there is DJMAX Fever, which think of this as Guitar Hero, but instead of having the rock songs or whatever, you have all these techno and Korean pop songs, and instead of playing a guitar, you're actually running your turntable and stuff. And this is a very challenging game, a little bit different than what I thought. Even though you find yourself doing the same type of things that you do in a typical Guitar Hero or Rock Band game, you have to pretty much push the right buttons at the right time. But this game adds a few more gameplay mechanics that make it a little bit more complicated, and the game is not very noob friendly, no tutorials or anything, or at least I couldn't find them. So but anyways, it was cheap and it came complete with a very nice manual with art direction. The art in the manual is pretty cool. So I'm happy to have this in my collection. And the second game that I picked up surprised me in a very positive way, and that game is N+, which is a bite-sized platformer that, according to the back of the box, this is based on the cult phenomenon N. So apparently this N game was or is a pretty popular game. I'm assuming it's one of those flash games that have been around the internet for ages, and for some reason it got a PSP release. But I'm really happy to have this. As I mentioned, it's a bite-sized platformer. The levels are really short. Some of the easier levels can last for 10, 15, 20 seconds, and some of the later and more challenging levels can last up to 5 to 10 minutes. But essentially you just have to guide this little guy right here to the goal, and you can grab some golden orbs on its way to get more points. But really happy, really surprised. This is a very good game. Unfortunately, it did not come with a manual, but for the price that I paid, I can't really complain, and I'm actually surprised at how good this game is. It's just a fun little game, and happy to have it in my collection. And to round off my pickups, another handheld purchase, and that is Shinobi for the Nintendo 3DS. Newegg.com was selling this game for $5 brand new, so I couldn't say no to it. And this is a game developed by Sega, and it follows the traditional, Shinobi series games, in which it's basically an action game, and where you have at your disposal your blade, and you can throw ninja stars and whatnot. But this game is extremely challenging, even when playing on the easier difficulties. And I guess this game is like a throwback to the early NES era type of titles, in which games were really challenging and a little bit on the cheap side. So I'm playing through this right now. So far it's a very frustrating experience, because some of the platforming sections they combine challenging platforming sections with enemies that are throwing weapons at you, and so you have to concentrate on making your way up to a platform while dodging the weapons being thrown by the enemies. So a little bit on the frustrating side, but hey, for $5 I can't really complain, and it's a long-standing game series in Sega's history, so I figure I picked it up. So that's my last pickup for the month, I guess, unless you count digital games. And I have Kirby Adventures playing on the background. This is for the Wii U, Virtual Console, which, you know, I also picked this game up for 30 cents. They have a promotional 1 month period for this game for 30 cents. So another classic for the NES that you can play now on the Wii U. But anyways, that's it for this month. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.